My name is Danny Hudson and I work for Gazebo Theatre. I do the media production, that's film, and also I do the music side of things. I'm a music tutor. I work with adults with learning difficulties. I've done that for 20 years.
Hey, yes, I know Danny Hudson very well. I am Tonia Daley-Campbell, that's my professional acting name. My family call me Tanny. I'm an actor, writer, director, new producer, to be honest, working on some crazy high-end TV show. I'm a freelancer, so I work a lot with Gazebo and I work a lot with young people. So I've got over 21 years experience training, facilitating young people within the creative and performing arts.
My dad actually came after, but not too long. I think a couple of years. He's not here now, so he's passed. But he would have been 98.
Wow.
98 in May this year.
Wow.
But he said he was on the second boat. I don't know what the boat was called, but it didn't go to England. It went to France, and it was a 2-week journey. He got kind of seasick on the boat, and then he spent a day in France. Then they caught another boat to England, and that's when he settled in Wolverhampton.
I always find it amazing when I think about the journeys that our parents or grandparents took. I mean, for me, my link to the Windrush Generation, actually, Danny, is through my grandparents. It's funny for me because my mom was actually born in England. My dad was born in Jamaica. It was his parents and then my mom's parents that came over around that time. And like your dad and they came over just after, like they just came a little bit after. But they knew about obviously the Windrush and all of that, and they was coming off the back of that journey of people, finding a life in England and, having an opportunity to have a better life. And from what I remember, my grandparents telling me on my mom's side, that my granddad was talking about that he knew he wanted a better life, and he's a very hard worker. He came over and then sent for my grandmother. My aunties, who was still living in Jamaica, they didn't want to come. They didn't want to come. Everybody I spoke to, even my dad said to me, he said he cried so much. He did not want to come to England at all. They were so happy in Jamaica. It's funny, but the opportunities that, it was their parents that were making that decision. It was cold, Lord have mercy. It was so cold. And the place looked so grey.
My dad actually rented a room. So they was able to set up little houses with rooms, 6-7 people living in ours was Waterloo Road.
Do you know what, Danny? I'm so glad you said that, because my granddad told me a story that when he came over and he had to share with men, like there was like a room and that to share the room and stuff. He said, one man, he tried to come in my bed. He tried to come in on my bed. So he was literally, and he was a little man. We used to call granddad Mr. Miyagi, from Karate Kid. He was not a man to be messed with, but he was a little man. Do you get what I mean? He wasn't a tall man. And he was telling us a story about when certain mans, that you would try and keep your money under your pillow, and certain mans would try and take that money if you're having to share. The men, them have shifts at work and shift sharing a bed. One work, one sleep, one work.
My dad is one of 10. He wasn't the first one. He was about 5 down the list. And my granddad, he asked his sons in order of age going down if they would go to England to make a better opportunity for them and everyone else. They all said no. He got to my dad and my dad said, yes, I will come. I'll come to England. My dad had 2 cows, would you believe it? And that's what they sold for his ticket.
Wow. This question actually has made me really want to dive deeper into that word, like just what was it actually really like for them? making that decision. It just, wow, it's lovely.
There's a book that the family has written called Between These Hills by T. Fletcher, and we go back 1753.
Oh, we should explore that.